Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And today I'm going to talk about 5 things that happen when you confront a narcissist. This is the biggest dilemma that people have. Do I confront the narcissist or do I walk away? And I'm going to explain the 5 things that could happen when you confront that narcissist. First of all, if you deal with a covert narcissist and you confront them about something that could cause them shame, they're just going to call you crazy and they're going to walk out. They don't like confrontation. Covert narcissists don't want to be involved in a confrontation. They're basic cowards. So they're going to walk out. When you're dealing with an overt or a malignant narcissist, when you try to confront them, they may start yelling and screaming and getting wild with you. They do that to put fear into you. And why do they want to put fear into you? To control you, for you to shut your mouth and never come to them again. So they'll make your life a misery. Every time you try to bring something up to them, they'll start yelling and screaming, all right? Now, why should you never, ever confront a narcissist? Number 1, you're never going to get the truth out of them. They're not transparent people, okay? They won't acknowledge truth if it doesn't work to their benefit. So never expect any kind of transparency or truth out of a narcissist. This is why we say disengage. Once you know you're dealing with a toxic person, you need to disengage and just be like, not today, Satan. I'm not dealing with toxic. This is a no-win battle, all right? So a narcissist is either going to run when you try to confront them and then go into a silent treatment if it's a covert narcissist, or they're going to start yelling and screaming. But what is all of this going to do with the yelling and screaming if you're dealing with an overt or, let's say, malignant narcissist? It's going to exhaust you. That's what it's going to do. You're going to get into a shouting match with the narcissist, and it's not going to get you anywhere. They're never, ever going to see it from your point of view. They don't want to see it from your point of view. The narcissist doesn't care about what's the truth. Narcissists don't care about what's the truth. They care about what works to their benefit. So if you're bringing up something that's causing them shame, something they did wrong, they're going to torture you for it. If it's an overt malignant narcissist, and a covert narcissist is going to torture you with the silent treatment, all right? When you confront a narcissist, they are not listening. Most of the time, they're not listening. They're going to totally dismiss anything you say. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to tell you you're crazy. They're going to tell you everything's in your head, all right? They're going to question your mental state. They love to do that. They will never acknowledge anything unless it works to their benefit, all right? The other reason why you shouldn't confront a narcissist is that you're showing them that they're getting to you. When you sit there and you start getting upset, and maybe you're raising your voice because you're just so angry, it gives the narcissist satisfaction to know that they got to you, okay? So, I mean, what you could do is put up a boundary and just let them know, listen, you ever do that again, you and I will not be dealing with each other, okay? You give them one warning, and if they break that warning, then you have to make a decision whether you want to be with this person or deal with somebody who keeps breaking your boundaries and does whatever they want, all right? The thing is, the narcissist is also going to trigger you and upset you when you confront them. If you're dealing with that overt, grandiose, malignant narcissist, like I said, they're going to yell and scream. They're going to, not only are they going to yell and scream, they're going to call you every name in the book. They're going to rip you down in such a wicked way that you're going to be sorry you even opened your mouth, all right? They're going to be calling you names. They're going to be calling you stupid. You don't know what you're doing. You're controlling. They're going to call you everything that they are, all right? It's going to get you nowhere, absolutely, positively nowhere, except that you're going to see the narcissist for who they really are. Because when you confront a narcissist or you challenge a narcissist, that's when you're going to really see who that narcissist is. They're going to get wicked with it, all right? Unless it's the love bombing stage. If it's the love bombing stage, they may, pretend to be like, oh, that's okay. Some of them will even apologize for something they've done during the love bombing stage. Even if you tell them no during the love bombing stage, they might be okay with that no. That's why saying no to a narcissist doesn't always tell you whether it's a narcissist if it's in the beginning, because they'll tell you everything you want to hear. They'll even say that they're wrong in the beginning because they still are trying to earn your trust. They don't care. So they'll try to fool you. They'll say, that's okay. I'm sorry if I did that. It won't happen again. Or they'll just yes you or something like that. That's in the beginning stages. But once that narcissist has gotten the supply, or they know that they've got you, that's when you're going to see the real wickedness of that narcissist come out. And this is how you know you're dealing with a narcissist. They're not able to just sit down and talk about things. They get dirty with it, okay? They will start calling you names. They hit below the belt. They may bring up something about how you parent your kids. They may bring up your family. They're going to try to really give you an injury, all right? They're going to really try to give you a jab when you try to call them out for something wrong that they're doing. That's how you know you're dealing with a narcissist, because they don't just accept that shame and own when they're wrong. Instead, it's your fault, blame shift, it's your fault. And then they may bring up things like, well, you're acting like this because your ex did you dirty, or you're acting like this because you come from a screwed up family, or this or that, or you don't even know how to be a parent. So you're going to come out of that conversation flustered. And then you're going to start questioning yourself like, am I a bad parent? Am I a bad person? Should I be bringing this up? It's not that you're a bad person and you should be able to talk about your feelings, but you're dealing with a narcissist that will criticize, judge you, and shame you for trying to voice opinions or trying to get them to take accountability, okay? Always know who your target is, all right? So they're going to call you every name in the book. Now, when you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, don't ever get confrontational with them. They're dangerous. You could get hurt. They could throw you up on a wall. They could punch you in your face. They could be violent. Malignant narcissists have the tendency to be violent. And people say to me, well, how do I know I'm dealing with a malignant narcissist? You will absolutely know when you're dealing with a malignant narcissist because you will be afraid. You'll be afraid of whatever you say to them, okay? You'll be walking on eggshells. You'll be keeping your mouth shut because you're afraid of what that narcissist could do. They might start breaking things in the house. They might start taking it out on the kids to get back at you. This is how wicked some of them can be. All right. So rule number 1, never ever confront a malignant narcissist. And also, all of these narcissists are going to try to seek revenge. When you confront them and you call them out for something they're doing wrong, you're causing a narcissistic injury. And that narcissist is not going to take it lightly. They're going to seek revenge. How does the covert narcissist seek revenge? They will run silent on you for days, weeks, and months. They're going to make you pay for anything that you brought up to them. Now they're not going to talk to you. They're going to shut down and give you that emotional abuse by shutting you out, being the ice king or queen, and freezing you out to the point where you suffer and you're begging them for forgiveness, all right? They're training you not to open your mouth. That's exactly what they're doing, okay? So it's futile to bring it up to the narcissist. Now, I had somebody bring this up on a post, and he said, well, I don't believe in just walking away. I don't believe in playing games. This is not playing games, by the way. He said, I believe that communication is important. You need to communicate with somebody, and if they want to blow their top, blow their top. Okay, well, also keep in mind who you're communicating with, because if you're dealing with a narcissist, some narcissists can be dangerous. So that's why you don't communicate with those type of narcissists, because you're not going to get the answer that you expect. You're going to get somebody who's going to get very angry and try to pay you back. Not only that, narcissists will also seek revenge. See, you could sit down and resolve conflict with people that will have an open mind or who can own when they're wrong. But when you're dealing with a toxic narcissist who cannot acknowledge truth, where do you think you're going to go with that? You're not going to go anywhere with that. You're going to have a narcissist that's either going to walk out on you, shout at you, or gaslight you. That's what's going to happen. They're going to gaslight you, tell you you're crazy, or I don't know what you're talking about, or you don't remember it right. They're going to deny, they're going to lie. They're going to totally deflect from taking that accountability. So it is useless, okay? They never ever want to see it from your point of view. So you guys, it's like this. The things that could happen when you confront a narcissist is never good. It is never, ever, ever good. Like I said, if you're dealing with a narcissist that's not violent and you want to put up that boundary, you could say to them, listen, you did this. You stayed out all night, all right? We'll use that as an example. You stayed out all night. If you do it again, I am not going to be here. Okay? And you have to mean it, and you have to follow through with the boundary. You can't just put up a boundary and have no consequences, or the narcissist will never, ever take you seriously. Okay? That's if you want to say something. Otherwise, you just disengage from somebody who's gaslighting you and giving you the bullshit, like, I don't remember, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't remember what happened yesterday. They're playing you for a fool. When they call you insecure, listen, this is not about whether I'm insecure. It's about whether you're going to take the accountability, okay? So, when they won't take that accountability, that's when you got to put your hands up and say, whoop, not today, Satan. I'm done. I'm out, okay? I'm done. This is all you say to them. I'm done. And exit left. I'm done. Don't go back and forth, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to exhaust yourself. You're going to give the narcissist satisfaction that they upset you. You're going to get frustrated, and you're going to say, why did I even bring it up to them? Nothing's going to change. See, you confront somebody when you feel that it's going to make a difference, all right? But with a narcissist, it doesn't make a difference. Yes, you're letting them know that they did something wrong, but if you don't have the boundary with the consequences, they don't care what you think. They don't care whether they did something wrong or they didn't do something wrong. And the last thing they want to do is get called out for it. So you've got to be prepared to put that boundary in place to let them know that if you do it again, I will not be here and I will not be dealing with you, okay? I'm not going to let you, but you have to know yourself, you guys. You got to know yourself. You got to know what you will accept and what you won't accept, okay? Half the people out there don't know, what a boundary is or what they'll accept, what they won't accept. They let this go. They let that go. The narcissist promises to change. They never change. There's no consequences. So the same problem keeps happening and happening and happening. The narcissist doesn't want to acknowledge a problem. But if you can't acknowledge the problem, you can never fix the problem. So when you try to confront a narcissist and they don't want to acknowledge that they did something wrong, you're going nowhere with it. You're going nowhere with it. That's when you got to pull the reins and say, you put up that boundary and say, you do it again, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to deal with this, okay? I can't live with somebody who constantly lies and constantly denies something, okay? You can go gaslight somebody down the street, but you're not going to gaslight me. I'm just not going to tolerate it, and I'm not going to be here, all right? That's how you let that narcissist know that you mean business, all right? So I hope that helps you guys to understand that most of the time when you try to confront a narcissist, it's futile, it's useless, you're not going anywhere with them. They don't want it, they can't handle shame. They're an insecure person, a fragile ego that will never, ever want to say that they're wrong. Never do they ever want to say they're wrong. So like I said, they may yell and scream at you. They may shout at you. They may call you crazy and run into a silent treatment. but they won't take anything seriously unless you got that boundary in place and let them know that, what, you're not going to tolerate. It doesn't matter what comes out of their mouth. What matters is the fact that they correct that behavior. And if they don't correct that behavior, you're not going to be a part of their life. Okay. You're not going to be a part of their life, or you're not going to deal with them. You're going to distance yourself from them. That's what you do. Okay. So these are all the things that are going to happen. The 5 things that happen when you confront that narcissist. It never, ever ends up good, okay? So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, check out the link in the bio at askgaz.wixsite.com/thegameexposed, okay? I have limited time because I'm just overworked and I have another project. I just nonstop running, you guys, nonstop running. That's why I don't even have a voice left anymore, okay? TikTok is The Game Exposed. YouTube is The Game Exposed Podcast. Instagram is The Game EXP 123. And for now, Facebook is The Game EXP 777. And have a great day.